Hi, and welcome back to the Spanglish Show with yours truly, Nelson Martinez. Well, wonderful interview we're continuing here. Of course, I'm partial. I tell you why. He's a buddy of mine who I met over the years. Oh, it's been a few. But he's an artist through and through. And when I once heard him, oh my God, his stuff is wonderful. Say hello once again to my friend Carlos Medina. Órale, bro. How are you, sir?
Muy bien, gracias a Dios. Thank you, Nelson. Thanks for the invitation.
Well, I do want to delve into the background, the musical background of my friend who started so very young in the entertainment business. I feel so connected to him. He's a Medina, right? And as I've told him before, my mom's mom was a Medina, so that's my grandma, and on my mom's side. And so there is a kinship. And thank you again for joining us.
Some kinship there for sure. Y pues además de ser, si somos o no somos parientes, somos buenos amigos. Y pues en esta vida es lo que cuenta.
Sure.
Porque pues a veces, it doesn't matter how close you are to your relatives. If there isn't a friendship there, pues ya sabemos cómo puede afectar eso, pero siempre le doy gracias a Dios por los buenos amigos como tú, Nelson, that we met. It was interesting. I mean, of course, I knew who Nelson Martinez was growing up. I always admired I admired you as a newscaster, as an anchorman, as everything in your career. You're someone I looked up to very early in my life. Because, you were one of the first of us to make it. Well, I would say probably by age 5, I almost feel like I've had 3 lives. When I was born, well, my name is Carlos Medina, but for the first 10, 12 years of my life, I was Charlie. Because I was my mom's first cousin. His name was Charlie, and he passed away a little bit before I was born. And the story goes that at some point they saw each other before he passed on, and he asked her to please call him Charlie, because that's what they called him. Yeah. So pues nació Carlos Medina, but my name was Charlie for many years. To this day, if somebody says, "Hey Charlie," I know that we are probably from the same place. We went to Valley Junior High together. And we've shared a lifetime together. So anytime anybody calls me Charlie, I know that we go back, way back. So anyway, Charlie, I can almost look at that phase in my life como tal si fuera otra persona, because I grew up. I was very different as a kid. I really didn't care much for playing outside. I was interested in I was interested in music. I was interested in plays, and just most of the time I spent it inside.
Making bizcochitos, tortillas with your mom?
Well, not really making bizcochitos, but creating one-man shows that I would perform for my first and most incredible fan, which was my mom.
Oh, sure. She was.
And I was everything in that show. Like you said, I was the set designer. I wrote the songs. I played both parts. If it was a cowboy, if it was a cowgirl, whatever it took, and it was fun. And so that was probably my intro to this business. And then as I grew up, I remember going to school and then realizing, finding my birth certificate and finding out that my name was Carlos Medina. And then another transition took place there.
Did you go through school as Charlie?
Yeah, for the first about 8, 9 grades. Yeah, and then where I grew up, you transitioned from a rural school in El Pueblo. Yeah. They would bus us to Las Vegas, to West Las Vegas. So by the time I started going to high school, I was Carlos. And by that time, I had already started my music career. I had already been playing at bars and just, been performing.
By school?
Oh, yeah. By age 7, I was already performing.
You had the accordion already.
The accordion, it was my dad's. I was so fascinated with that instrument. Me acuerdo la primera vez que la vi. It was in a case under the bed. And una noche, it just so happened that somebody came over with a guitar, and my dad played the accordion, and I was just so fascinated with that instrument.
And music instantly.
And then we had a family band. It was Los Neófitos was the name of the Neophytes. The first band. It was my dad, my brothers, some cousins. Neófitos. Sí. And we played, around the area. Probably our first gig was at El Pueblo Bar, which doesn't exist anymore. The building's still there, pero ya la cantina, pues ya es historia. But nonetheless, that was the beginning of something that, music is fascinating because it's truly a portal to another world, not just inside, because I don't know how true this is, but I read somewhere that when you're playing music, you're using 100% of your brain, which is good because I have a very little brain, so I need to use most of it. But no, just all kidding aside, that's what I've read. I don't know how true that is, but I can tell you that you are another person when you're performing, when you're singing, and then I was fortunate to have the gift of being able to compose. So by age 15, I had written my first song, which is called Tus Dulces Labios, and maybe we could share that here on the show. It's a song I wrote. I was probably 13, 14 years old, and I had a crush on my teacher. So I wrote that song for her, and it must have worked out because I got an A in that class. Gracias por acompañarnos. I'm Carlos Medina, acompañado con mis buenos amigos. Juntos somos el trío Los Gallos. Y pues a lo que venimos. This first song is a song I wrote when I was about 15 years old. I was in 8th grade. I was in love with my teacher. And the rest is history. Here's the song. Check it out. See what you think. Quiero besar tus dulces labios. Quiero besar tus dulces labios, acariciar tu blanca piel. Quiero tenerte cerquita mi alma. This is what I'm lucky to say I am what I do, and I do what I am because that's it. Music and just entertainment. Somebody asked me recently, what do you do? And my answer, after all these years, I'm 51 now, so it took all these years to realize that what I do, Nelson, is I do whatever it takes to make the world a better place. And I have God-given gifts, which is music and comedy, to do it with. And I'm so fortunate to be able to do that, porque pues es algo, es un don, de veras. It's just something that's given to you, and I'll be the first to admit that I don't deserve them, but I'm grateful that I have them. And there's times where I do other things to make the world a better place. It might mean remodeling a house for an older couple that maybe doesn't have a lot of money. But they need a new bathroom or a new kitchen or whatever it takes. But I'm grateful for los dones que me dio Dios. I'm also grateful for the skills that I was able to develop since I was a kid in being able to do in the construction industry, and I'm thankful to my dad and my brothers for that, because at a very early age, I was also swinging a hammer. When I wasn't pulling on the accordion, I was swinging a hammer. And, both my older brothers have become successful contractors. Uno vive aquí en Albuquerque, el otro en Arizona. And, my dad taught us a lot of useful skills, mechanic, construction. So those skills have come in, have been very useful, mayormente during the pandemic, which was, everything stopped. We couldn't perform, we couldn't entertain, all the venues were closed. So, skills like that came in handy because a lot of people turned inward and wanted to remodel their house, paint their house, put in new windows, whatever it is. And so that's my mantra today is like, what do you do? I do whatever it takes to make the world a better place. And I found my why. And it's not so much what you do, but why you do it. And for me, that's my why, because it makes the world a better place. Maybe not for everybody, but for somebody.
You're very kind. You really are. And not only that, but talented. This is the guy that really has worked very, very hard. Well, not that all of us don't work hard to get to where we are in life.
And I'm grateful, I'm grateful for the childhood I had because, gracias a Dios tuve a mi mamá y a mi papá. Todavía los tengo, gracias a Dios. Y los dos están saludables y los dos están...
¿Cómo se llama tu mamá?
Rita Medina, y mi papá se llama Ben.
Saludos.
Saludos, claro que sí. Para mí fue una bendición tener... I had my mom when it counts the most as a kid because she taught me to be tender. She taught me to be in touch with my feelings. She made me a well-rounded individual.
When Carlos was small, he started playing. He was 7 years old. His dad had a big accordion. I mean, it was massive. It looked like a little mouse. There were times when I have to get mad at him because he would mock me with my dresses and my high heels and all. Carlos, stop that music and go get some wood for the fireplace. Mom, I'm busy. Okay, then you get out. You're not going to get warm because there's no wood. He got my jacket, he put my heels and went for wood. I wanted to kill him, but you know what? I was happy because he did bring in wood. Then for our 4th of July, we went to town, and we couldn't find him. All of a sudden, we heard his voice in the gazebo, and this guy was telling him, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a charro, he said, a mariachi. I want to be up there. To this day, he's up there. I love Majito with all my heart.
She made me a well-rounded individual. But then I also had my dad as I grew older, pa que me diera rienda. Because that's what you need, you need somebody to... I mean, for me, I'm grateful that I had my mom to teach me about, that side of my life, how to understand and deal with my feelings, with ideas. But then also had my dad who taught me to be a man. And that's important. It's important to have somebody at that age where you do need somebody to, maybe it takes getting smacked every now and then, but esa es parte de la vida y es importante saber what it is to be a man. And so I'm grateful for both my parents who made me a well-rounded individual in that respect.
Sure. But you're saying it's okay to give you a smack once in a while.
I mean, I'm talking about my experience, and my experience was that. And I'm grateful por todas las turras que me metieron, sí. Sometimes with his hand, sometimes with a belt. But I tell you, I'm grateful for the correction that my dad gave me, and also the correction my mom gave me, porque my mom was accurate, deadly with a chancla, 350 yards, And things may have changed over the years, but one thing I'm grateful for is that I grew up in the time I grew up, and I grew up the way I grew up, because I can guarantee you, Nelson, I'm sure of who I am, what I am, and what I do, and I'm grateful for my parents. To my parents, there's no room for there's no question, and there's no room for confusion, and I'm grateful, or doubt. Gracias a Dios por eso.
Qué bonita es alguna gente, ¿no?
I had grandparents that I grew up next to. It took 3 minutes to run from my house to theirs, and so that's another another support system that I'm grateful
y
for.
aprendiste el español.
Aprendí el español, aprendí el inglés en la escuela.
Yeah.
El español lo aprendimos en casa. And, you know, a reference to that, when my parents went to school, they didn't like for you to speak Spanish. My mom was a parochial school student.
Exactly.
She spoke Spanish. They'd get punished. So when I started going to school, I remember my dad saying, y la R se pronuncia con orgullo. And it was just a reference to the fact that, you know, speak Spanish because you can.
Bless his heart.
And don't be ashamed of it. Because when they tried, they got punished, but, you know, things change. Y saber dos idiomas es como ser dos personas.
Yeah.
You know, I'm grateful. That's another thing I'm grateful to my dad is that, you know, he made sure that we spoke what you might say correct Spanish. I mean, language is a tool. As long as your message gets across, that's the purpose of language. But I feel very confident when I've done interviews like in Mexico because aside from my accent, of course, I have one.
By comparison.
Yeah, by comparison, but nonetheless, you know, I know proper conjugation. I know proper tense, and that's important. It's very helpful to be able to speak another language and speak it well. And then, of course, I'm grateful for the fact that, you know, when I started doing comedy and I picked up on the fact that, you know, northern New Mexico especially has a very different dialect. And you know, the Spanglish Show, I love it porque la comedia que presento yo se basa en eso. En la mezcla de los dos idiomas, the Spanglish, and then almost the creation of a whole new, it's almost like a new language because we borrow, you know, it's easy for us to code switch. Podemos empezar a hablar en Spanish and then we finish that same sentence in español. And for us it's very easy, but as I started presenting my comedy, I started getting invitations and comments from people that organize like language symposiums. I remember the first time I was invited to a language symposium, I couldn't believe it. First of all, I didn't know what symposium was, so I said, bless you, because I thought he had sneezed. No. But he said, you know, we're interested in your ability to code switch and almost, you know, creating this new language as you go along. So
you know many languages, which is to not forget music. That's a lovely thing that you also do with your wonderful accordion that you've been playing nearly all your life.
All my life, yeah. It's an extension of me for sure.
We're going to be listening to some of that. I've got some of that tape, and it's totally awesome. You are quite the artist, and that's what, you know, as I said before, that's why I love doing these podcasts now. It puts me in touch with artists that are so special. They have that specialty in there. There's no question about it. You know that person. Somewhere there you've met somebody that is ATM, Carlos Martinez, or Carlos Mariachi, or Carlos M. I don't know we said it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Very special to have you here, Carlos, and we're not done yet. Let me just take another break real quick. And as I tell my viewers here, or followers, we don't really have the budget for an orchestra, so, you know, like the talk shows go, we'll be right back. And here comes the orchestra. You know, Doc Severinsen, remember him from the Tonight Show? So, no, I'll just say we've got our own little orchestra, no budget, so we have to do what we have to do. Don't go away. This is the Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez. Ahorita regresamos. Look at that hamburguesa. That's the Breaking Bad burger, oye.
Yup, as everyone says, it's delectable, delicious, scrumptious. Oh my God. Hey, and don't forget Taco Tuesdays. No más hambre. You won't be hungry for days. A la Mexicana Tortilla Company.
Yeah. Delicious.
Baby, 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 won't you tell me yes? I'm slowly sad. Still rock rockin'.
At Lesman's, we have been doing the music for a long time, going on 70 years. 5413 Lomas Northeast. Nice folks mean gear. Remember, shop local.
Chile verde, chile rojo, de los dos si es esto antojo. Nuevo México querido, tiene el chile preferido. Santa Fe, tu capital, con tu plaza sin igual. Ahí te invito a disfrutar unos tacos y un tamal. Y ahí nos vamos a gozar a un lugar maravilloso, excepcional. Tal vez ahí después nos pongamos a aullar como coyotes debajo la luna llena. Chile verde, chile rojo, de los dos si es esto antojo. Nuevo México querido, tiene el chile preferido. Santa Fe, su capital, con su plaza sin igual. Ahí te invito a disfrutar unos tacos y un tamal. Y ahí nos vamos a gozar a un lugar maravilloso, excepcional. Tal vez ahí después nos pongamos a aullar como coyotes debajo la luna llena.
Hi, and welcome back to the Spanglish Show with yours truly, Nelson Martinez. We're talking with a good friend of mine, Carlos Medina. You may have caught one of his acts. If not, he plays an instrument that's called the accordion that is top shelf. You've seen him around somewhere, maybe down at Tezuka Casino. He's in there entertaining folks. Just doesn't stop, even funerals. He's a special touch to all of those activities, events, sad or happy. But anyway, it's Carlos Medina, a distant cousin, and maybe not so distant, pero aquí estamos.
Claro que sí, muchas gracias otra vez más, Nelson. Thank you for inviting me. Gracias a todos los que sintonizan. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you. You know, Nelson, I'm grateful that we've become really good friends over the past few years.
Me too.
Pues I remember reaching out to you on Facebook Messenger. And then meeting you probably a year after at the opera.
Yes, and a story about that. Well, I never used to tune into that Facebook or anything like that. And one day I'm looking around, and I see this message from Carlos Medina. And I go, what? And it was already like 3 months old.
Probably, yeah.
And so I ended up opening it up, and it said, hey, I'd like to reach out to you, see if you want to do a voiceover or something like that. I don't remember exactly. So that's how we met, and it's been a great friendship ever since.
Pues nos conocimos at the mariachi show
extravaganza en este año.
At the opera.
Lo vi tocando, entreteniendo a la gente con su acordeón y sus chistes. His jokes were really funny, and so anyway, I left you alone that night. You were the line was long to get to purchase one of your CDs. So I left it alone. We left, my wife and I said, I'll meet him at another point, but I know I have to meet him. There's got to be some sort of connection there, you know. Y sí, te digo que aquí estábamos getting so entertained by your good show there at the Santa Fe Opera. What a venue that was.
For sure, that was a great show.
And so it's good to see you in person.
Pues claro que sí.
Thank you very much for submitting to an interview. I just want to know more about why, as I said the previous chapter there, why you are disappearing from the social network. ¿Qué pasó? I don't see your stuff anymore. You had Lola, and
Lola,
and
Dynamic. Well, what happened, Nelson, is it was really simple. I licensed my IP for 5 years, and
wait, stop. You licensed your IP. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So my IP, my intellectual property. So all of the
IP,
characters,
of course, sure.
all of the characters, all of the just everything having to do with my comedy and even my music, and the agreement was it gets pretty involved. So I figured for 5 years I'm gonna just not post new stuff. What's there is there. What they want to use is up to them. I've had a few people reach out to me recently saying, "Hey, I think I heard your voice, but it's a different character, or it's on a commercial for whatever," and it's probably has to do with that. The agreement said that none of my characters, none of my nothing can be used for
commercial purposes,
pornographic or any political or anything having to do with anything that's bad.
Sure.
But whoever I licensed it to can use it for new characters, to promote products, as long as it's legal and ethical. And for me, in order not to cause any problems, I just decided for those 5 years I'm not going to post anything new, which leads to my next point is that during that time I'm currently working with a friend of mine. You know Max Walucas. Mm-hmm. Max was my first manager at Meow Wolf, and we can talk a little bit about that collaboration.
That's my next question.
Yeah, Max and I are working together on an animated series based on the comedy. That's something we're working on now, and it'll probably take the rest of that contract agreement, that licensing, to get things going. But nonetheless, that's really the reason I backed out of social media. But also, to be honest with you, I've enjoyed. I have no social media at all. Nothing on my phone. I've actually even I made a pact with myself I don't watch the news anymore. Do
you mean you don't know that there's a nuclear war going on?
I don't know anything. I don't
kidding.
even know
That's
who's president anymore.
Oh, well, you've got peace of mind.
Yeah, I do. Counts. I have peace of mind,
and
actually.
I shouldn't joke around with nuclear war, no.
And
hopefully never.
Hopefully never,
yeah. But anyway, so you don't listen to that. Well, that's kind of soothing.
One day I was scrolling through TikTok, and it was 1 a.m., and then it was 3 a.m., and then the sun came out, and then I realized, this is not normal. This isn't normal. For me, it's not normal. There's no reason I should be on anything on my phone for 6 hours.
So you
just
actually
so I made
abstain.
A decision.
Abstain.
I made a decision to remove every app from my phone. I don't even have YouTube anymore.
De veras.
I in the morning I'll get up and I'll look at Yahoo Finance just to see how certain things are doing.
Sure.
And then I'm done for the rest of the day.
Wow.
Y sabes que me he enfocado tanto en los proyectos que tengo de construcción, which
I
find very cathartic, being able to like yesterday I was plastering a bathroom with Structolite. I hadn't worked with that material in such a long time. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really enjoyed it. I work by myself. I pick very specific projects that I know I'm going to enjoy. And I always make it a point to let my clients know that I'm working on my own time. If it's something that needs to be done immediately, I'm probably not the guy. If it's a project that you can wait and work with my schedule, I guarantee you're gonna like it. And if you don't, then you don't pay me. That's another thing I do is I only get paid for work I've done. I'm not I'm not licensed or anything like that. I'm more of a handyman, but I do good work and I enjoy it. And it's just become something that I'm probably busy for the next 2 years.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So it's
and you feel peace.
I do.
Because of
I absolutely
the news
do.
by itself, not tuning in over and over again to the same stuff.
No more news,
the
no
tragedy
more
that's
social
going
media.
on everywhere.
And you know what's interesting, Nelson, is the other day I got a call from a friend, and he's like, "Hey, somebody reached out to me. They're asking if you'd be interested in a collaboration." And it's the funniest thing because this organization, they're interested in people who have gotten off of social media. And basically what
coincidence.
Basically what the show is about is, and it's funny, they want to send a camera crew to follow me around because I was on social media and I had a pretty good following, but now they want to see what it's like not being in social media. So I told my friend, look, if somebody wants to pay me to send a camera crew to follow me to show people on social media what our real life is like, I'm okay with that. I said, as long as I don't have to do any of the posting.
Yeah.
If they want to follow me to a job site, that's fine. They want to follow me to a gig, that's fine. I just don't want to have anything to do with the production of it.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
interesting.
let's see if that takes place.
Yeah.
There's some issues there with the fact that it could be considered new content. So we might have to wait till after this
The 5-year
agreement.
period.
But nonetheless, it gives us time to also produce that content. And speaking of content, back to my collaboration with Meow Wolf. I know that
I
you
was
were
going to ask
interested
Meow
in
Wolf.
that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the best things happen by accident.
Yep.
I was living in Portales, and I get a call from this guy, and he's like, "Hey, my name is Max. I'm curating a comedy show for a friend of mine. We were wondering if you'd be interested in opening." It was a comedy show. Back then, it was called the Skylight.
Yeah.
It's downtown Santa Fe. If you're from Santa, you know where it's at. It's like Harvey Winery now or something like that. Anyway, long story short, I agreed. I almost didn't. I figured it paid $150. I had just put out my first comedy CD. So I figured if I can drive from Portales to Santa Fe and sell 10 CDs, I'll make enough money to pay for my gas and make it a worthwhile trip. So I agreed.
Entrepreneur, to be sure.
I agreed
and
to do it.
entertainer, of course.
And I posted it on Facebook. Well, when I get there was a really long line.
Wow.
And I met up with the guy who hired me. His name was Max. And he's like, "Hey, man, there's a little bit of a change in this deal." He said, "It seems like a lot of people here are here to see you. Would you be willing to go last, and can you do 30 minutes? The agreement was for 10 minutes. I was going to open." And I said yes. I had never done stand-up, Nelson. I'd never been on a stage without my accordion and at least 2 other guys. So I said, yeah. First comedian goes on. Great comedian. Second comedian, oh my gosh, like this guy was legit. And I'm
real
just
funny.
thinking to myself, what did I do?
Oh my God.
But that
So
was
you
my
were
intro.
following them.
Yeah, I mean, my intro to the comedy world was that, and then I get up there and I'm thinking like, I didn't know the difference
Were you-
between a bit and nothing.
Were you like a deer in the headlights?
Oh, pretty
more or less?
much. So I
Yeah.
got up there and then I said, "Hi, what are you douching?" And everybody laughed. And I realized at that point that people had been following me on social media
Yeah.
for such a long time that
Oh, yeah.
they were curious as to who the person behind those videos was. So that's where my comedy career started. But that night, I met a person who would introduce me to a really famous writer that lives in Santa Fe, George R. R. Martin, who owns a theater called the Jean Cocteau. That night, I also met the person who would become the first CEO of Meow Wolf, which is Vince Kodlubeck. and then had met a woman that was in town producing a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So of those three people, I became very, very close friends to two of them, and to this day, I'm grateful for George R. R. Martin for giving me the opportunity. I had a 10-year run at Jean Cocteau with my comedy show, All Fierce Comedy.
10 years.
10 years.
Congratulations, my friend.
I'm proud to say that we're coming back. We'll be there October 2nd, 2025. The All Fierce Comedy show is coming back to the Jean Cocteau.
Okay.
And also I met Vince, who would become the first CEO of Meow Wolf. A little after that, he reached out to me and said, we'd like to collaborate with you. And that was a journey. I ended up moving to Santa Fe. I started working with Meow Wolf, and they produced my mariachi album.
Hey,
It was the first in-house music act for Meow Wolf.
Good.
And I invite everybody to check out this really cool video that they produced for me.
That's
for
the one with the animation?
the puppets,
well, let's
the
play it right
lowriders,
now,
for
and
sure.
And we'll back to it, right, and give me some reaction to it. But boy, yeah, I nearly fell off my chair when I saw this production. Meow Wolf, right on, and George Martin, right on. So let's take a look at it and see what you think.
Vueltas y vueltas, el amor se acerca. Te arrebata el alma y como un flechazo te perfora el corazón. Vueltas y vueltas, el amor se aleja. Te arranca el alma y te quiebra el corazón.
Escúchenme bien todos mis amigos, les voy a contar mis penas hasta embriagarme. La mujer que quise me dejó por otro y yo desde entonces me he echado a la perdición. Si algún día la miran, no más no le digan que me pasó aquí los días ahogado en tequila. Díganle que vivo como rey del mundo, que su despedida para mí fue un gran favor. Que sufro por su amor. No le digan que acá entre 1000 botellas suplico tu perdón. Yo prefiero vivir ilusionado con ustedes y estas copas de licor. Si algún día la miran, no más no le digan que me paso aquí los días ahogado en tequila. bailar. Díganle que vivo como rey del mundo, que su despedida para mí fue un gran favor. Prefiero vivir ilusionado con ustedes y estas copas de licor.
Híjole. Yeah, híjole. That's an our expression, no? What a fabulous, fabulous video that Meow Wolf and company, George Martin, did on Carlos. Carlos, you must have been flying high, huh?
It was quite an experience, claro que sí. I still remember, just the process of getting that done. Y saludos to my good friend Kron, Ryan Thompson, who directed it, and it was his vision. Thanks all, siempre muy agradecido a mi amigo Maxwell Lucas, and to Meow Wolf. It was to this day one of the coolest things that came out of at that time Meow Wolf Entertainment. And I don't say that because it's my video. I say that because Vince actually said it at one time. He posted that. He said, to this day, still one of the coolest things we've created.
My God,
and,
yes. You just saw it, and you got to agree with me. Share it with people. I mean, this is Carlos Medina, local guy. They took a liking to him because they obviously saw his talent, his bright light. Y aquí vamos. Let's do this, let's do that. Y ahí salió el video, which will live forever. I love it. And then it goes down to draining. No sé qué, tantos effects. Oh my God, how did they do that? It was just fabulous, Carlos. On that issue alone, I congratulate you.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate everybody's support over the years. To this day, I play all over the country, and there's people I've run into Nashville. I was in Nashville a while back, and they're like, "Yeah, you're the puppet video guy." They always talk about the puppet.
Yeah.
It's the only music video I know that has puppets, lowriders, and ice skaters. And
a great voice.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. It was the best I could do at that moment, but no, it came out great, and,
it did.
And I'm grateful for the production of the mariachi CD too. We also have it in vinyl, 3 colors of vinyl.
Mira, and you can download it también.
You can download it.
You can ask Amazon también. I did that. It was so cool. I said, hey, or what do they call Alexa? I don't want to say it too loud because mine will come on. I say Carlos Medina and play his top. And here it comes, my old boy, my hometown boy. I act so silly, but you know what I mean. I'm so proud of this guy. He's achieved a lot and continues to grow, we hope.
I'm grateful to Nelson. I have to say, gracias a mi amigo David Valdez, who's originally from Española. He's the one that arranged the CD and directed the recording. And I'm so proud of David because recently he's probably the newest member of Mariachi Sol de Mexico.
No kidding.
Yes,
Jose Hernandez.
Yeah, for sure.
Que suave.
So, David, thank you, man.
Felicitaciones.
Thanks for your efforts in making that CD what it is, and congratulations, brother, on your achievement there. Que viva David Valdez y que viva Mariachi Sol de Mexico.
Ah, qué padre. How nice. Pues con eso, I think maybe we ought to wrap it up for this time. But I'm telling you, as many times as he would like to come, and that is Carlos Medina, a grand entertainer. You'll see that talent he has if you like the accordion. I didn't used to like it when I was a disc jockey back in the 60s. No me caiba.
Well, neither did I.
You didn't like it either.
Third grade was rough. Yeah.
Third grade was rough. Ay, pero, he's going to bring that accordion next visit and play a little solo. But, hey, we're going to let you know where you can see his stuff, too. On the internet, just Google him. And he'll pop right up somewhere along the line. ¿Que no?
Claro que sí.
Bueno,
Muchas gracias, Nelson, y gracias a todos los que sintonizan. Appreciate everybody's support. And, I'll be back. Next time I'll bring Graviel and maybe Tia Lola.
That's what I was going to ask you. Please bring those characters with you. That's going to be a hoot. So look forward on one of the episodes here on the Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez. And today with Carlos Medina. Thank you again, Carlos.
You're welcome. Gracias a ti, Nelson.
Bueno, pues, hasta las otras piscas. The next fishing date, if that's what you call it, I guess. I don't know what that represents, but nevertheless, see you again. Thank you for the sharing, the attaboys, anything you can do to help this poor chimayoso out. And also a Las Vegas kid. ¿Cómo se llama el lugar donde eres?
El Coruco.
El Coruco.
Suburb of Rivera.
Suburb of Rivera. There you go, buddy. Bueno, gracias. It's been fun. Thank you very much. Y hasta las otras piscas. As the band would say, hasta las otras.
The Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez.